Hello YouTube, my name's Tag and welcome back to Gyakuten Live. So in the last video, we basically started off the final trial of the episode and we basically found out a lot of information. If you haven't seen it, I recommend that you go watch the previous video. But basically, we finally are gonna get the true culprit. Finally they're gonna come out and finally testify. And hopefully we can finally solve the case and wrap up this episode of the game. So yeah, without further ado, let's continue the game. Okay, so we finally got up to the point where we can call Rina in and start questioning her to get it testified. Because we found out that she's the true culprit that did the printing. Now, how hard is this gonna be? I don't know. I hope it's easy because I've been struggling a bit with this. But only because I need to think outside the box sometimes. Yeah, I hope this ends like this is gonna be like the final trial of the episode. I don't think there can be more. But like I just want to play the next episode. I'm looking really forward because this episode itself has been like so fun. I've been enjoying playing this game. So I hope all the other episodes are gonna be just as good. Because like this game isn't complete yet. There's still like I think they're on the final episode still that they need to finish up. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like big because I looked at like the episode lists of this game when I downloaded it, and they were like part one I think of the final episode was out, but they still want to make part 2 and 3. So like this tells me that it's gonna be like super like important, and I look forward to that because I love solving cases, mysteries. I love thinking. May 14th, 4:33 p.m. Courtroom. Court is now back in session for the trial of Osaka Karen. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to win, Your Honor. Good. Is the witness Tenojiri fully informed and up to date on the case? She is, and is prepared to testify at the moment's notice. Just as I, the prosecution, am ready to pulverize the defense once and for all. I'd say it's the day of your reckoning, but you've been blindly reckoning since yesterday. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. This is it. Today I will mercifully end your random flailing about with a swift, masterful performance. Blah blah blah, we'll see about that. Now let's get right to it. Bring in the witness. She's back. I guess we're doing this now, huh? Apologies, I know you didn't find any notable evidence yet today, and I originally wasn't going to call you up. Unfortunately, the defense does what the defense does. You know the drill by now. Now, I believe you've been brought up to speed. Please testify about why you came in from the right side of the doorway. Alrighty. Sorry, Rina-chan. I know you wanted to keep all of this a secret, but getting Karen-san roped into this wasn't part of your original plan, was it? I know you'd hate to have to shift the blame to her. I think if the truth comes out, you'll feel better about it. At least that's what I hope. I hope she feels better. I kind of feel bad for this. The right side. I didn't go directly into the restroom. I wanted to test something out first. I've been developing an electronics jammer. It's just a project for my science and technology class. Around the time of the crime, I passed the restroom and went directly to the club room, but I didn't go in. You know how the door of the club room has an electronic lock? I was testing my jammer on the lock to see if it would work. After I did that, I went back to the restroom. That's why it looks like I came in from the right. An electronics jammer? That's right. If it worked, it would have unlocked the door without a fingerprint. Don't worry though, it didn't work. Even if it did, I only made it for experimental purposes, not exploitative purposes. Oh my, even when it ever breaks into the club room, Ryo-chan would be our first suspect, huh? Hang on, Ryo-chan. Did you bring the jammer with you on the day of the crime? I didn't see you holding anything like that, and you're saying you never went to the club room? Oh, about that. I've been developing it in the practice room. I just grabbed it from there before I left. One more thing. Since you went up to the clubroom door, you must have paused the camera, right? Yep, that 411 entry is me trying out my jammer. So she's admitting she was the unknown entry in the camera records. Better keep that in mind. Still, this whole tidbit of with the jammer kind of came out of nowhere. I wonder if she's lying about it. Until she brings it up as evidence. Okay, time to start interrogating. First thing, let's figure out the jammer. Electronic jammer? What's that? Well, I don't know if electronic jammer is the right name for it, honestly. But the point is, it's a device that puts out a signal that tricks the fingerprint sensor into thinking that it should be activated. It didn't work though. I was thinking that the sensor receives signals because it has those records, but maybe I'm wrong. I've got it. You used your so-called electronic jammer to wirelessly transmit a command to the print to get it to print the tickets. I don't think that's what happened. Defense, please. Shouldn't you be above unsubstantiated claims by now? Guess I can't do anything with this line of thought for the moment. So you're admitting that this entry on the camera records at 4:11 p.m. that reads unknown belongs to you? Most likely, I had to go right up to the clubroom door to test out my jam after all. I was wearing my board at the time, so the camera wouldn't be able to recognize me. That makes sense, right? It's okay though. Once my jammer turned out to be a bust, I went right back and the way I came. Since I was just dilly-dallying under the camera the whole time, that explains why there's only one entry. The explanation seems to make a lot of sense, doesn't it? Did anything notable happen while you were trying that out? Not really. Karen was taking a stroll around the halls at this point, I think, so I never ran into her. The door of the clubroom is on a bend in the halls, so I wasn't really able to look down either of the hallways. According to Karen's map, she's right. So she never ran into Karen's. That makes sense, since Karen never met her either. I guess she left before Karen came around at 4:14 p.m. From what we discussed, he seemed to just stand there in the restroom for a while without letting Setsuno-chan and Ai-chan know. Why is that? No, they were taking photos, right? I wanted to watch and see what they were up to. Besides, they looked like they were having fun. I didn't want to disturb them. So you just stood there staring at them for like 2 minutes? Yes. What a strange response. Nothing unsuspicious here. No, ma'am. An electronic shammer definitely sounds like something Yuri-chan would come up with. I wonder, does that mean she may have been able to enter the clubroom without leaving a trace? Is that possible? Now, if she had gone in, there would have been another entry for her leaving and therefore passing under the camera a second time, right? In that case, I should probably think about her emotions and see if they add up. Okay, think about emotions. To the map. So she was at clubroom. She should go to printing room and come out printing room, but the problem is that the sensor would have picked it up twice. Unless she went from practice to printing room to then the restroom. Because then the camera would have picked her up when she came from there. And that's why she's coming up with that excuse. She's like, we don't put up that point. I'm thinking. So I'm assuming that Ai-chan and Setsuno-chan don't have any more photos that they coincidentally took of you passing by. I guess not. Otherwise they probably would have gone in a completely different direction with their testimony. That's just my guess anyway. Who knows? Well, I can't say it doesn't make sense. So she took a little detour, did she? Witness, what is the something that you want to test? Yeah, so let's figure this one. Okay, but wait. Southbound would be. That would make southbound means you're not facing the clubroom. Yep, okay, cool. So, you went directly from the practice room past the restroom and to the door of the club room, is that correct? I think so. Does that add up? No, unfortunately it doesn't. Unfortunately, no. And I'll tell you why. Let's take a look at the camera records again. Here it says that someone passed by the club room at 4:11 p.m. That was me. Is there a problem with it? Actually, there is. The camera records specify that you were moving southbound. That is, you approached it from the north. But if you paused from the restroom to get to the clubroom door, you would have approached it from the south. If you approached it from the south, that means you were actually moving northbound, doesn't it? Order in the court. Wow, well done, you John. You're pretty good with directions, you know. Although, what exactly does it change? Well, because Rinetran's admitted to being the 411 entry on the camera record, it means she's lying about her route. Oh, that's right. Good point, Yuchan. Everyone we know that the 411 person, everyone, we know that the 411 person must have been moving southbound. That means they must have been moving clockwise around the halls. If we take the 411 person to be Rinetran and refer to the hallway map, you can see that going clockwise means you take the long way around the halls to the club room. But notice, what room do you pass by if you take that route? Ah, it would take you right past the printing room. That's right. The logical route involves Rinechan passing by the printing room. How do you intend to explain this, Rinechan? Let me have this, dear. Cool. Just because the witness passed by the printing room, that doesn't mean she had to have gone in. There are a number of very possible reasons why Tenoshi Rinechan took the long route. You have no proof she ever went into the printing room. In that case, the defense requests that the witness testify about why she chose to take the long route instead of the more obvious short route. Alright, here you go. The long route. The electronic family takes a while to warm up, so while we were waiting for that to happen, I decided to kill some time. I decided to take the long look around the halls. It's nice to listen to music while you walk, you know. I had my electronic board on at the time. As you can see, my board has a built-in set of headphones. My board also has storage for a bunch of cool stuff, including songs. Pretty nifty, right? Harasho, what a neat little device. So you're currently wearing the same board that you had on during the time of the crime? That's right. It looked a little different then, but there are attachments I can add to the board to make it look different for different purposes. Didn't John wanted to take a stroll listening to music while the jammer warmed up? I don't know if I buy that. What? You've never done it, you John? It's quite relaxing and gives you a moment to yourself. Yeah, but I have no doubt that John was the one who printed the VIP tickets. There's no way she just wanted to take a stroll. You think so? Better keep that in mind for the cross-examinations coming up then. Defense, your witness? Alright. Let's think. Imagine a question, they're like, oh, you're listening to music, what song were you listening to? Did anything notable happen during the trip? What? You mean like, did I see or hear anything out of place? Not really, no. All I heard was Ice and Setsuna-chan chattering about something in the restroom, but that was when I had just left the practice room. Defense, do you have any evidence that contradicts the witness statement? Let's see, is there anything else that Rinechan must have heard or seen? While she was strolling, she would have bumped into Karen. Yes, Your Honor, Rinechan must have seen or heard this during the trip. She must have bumped into Karen because Karen was walking about. So, Rinechan, you can confirm that you were going clockwise around the hallways, is that correct? Yes, but at the same time, Karen was walking counterclockwise around the halls. One person walks clockwise, another person walks counterclockwise on the same path at the same time. What happens? That's right. They will invariably run into each other. That's right. They have to have met at some point during the walks. We know that Karen-san was circling the halls from 4:08 p.m. to 4:14 p.m. based on the information from the camera records. Not to mention, Rinechan's trip requires her to be at the clubroom door at 4:11 p.m. It is essentially impossible for them to have missed each other. Karen-san said that she never encountered anyone in the halls, right? That means that Rinechan must have avoided Karen-san somehow. The question is, how and why did Rinechan avoid Karen-san? What kind of question is that? Obviously the witness ducked into some other room or hallway as the defendant passed by. What do you say, witness? That's what you did, correct? Well, yes, that goes without saying. As for why, well, I'll let the witness testify about that. You're trying to hid away in some hall or room while carrying some passed by, huh? I haven't really been paying attention to the surroundings of those hallways. I wonder where she chose to lay low. Eh, that's it. Defense, what are you yelling about? I think I know. Reachan, the place you hid from Karen-san in. Could it be? I will not allow you to badger the witness with random accusations. You know what you have to do instead. If you've got an idea of where the witness decided to hide from the defendant, provide the evidence to back it up at the same time. Look, evidence? Do I have any? Very well then, here's the evidence that shows exactly where Reachan decided to hide from Karen-san. Is it the printing room? Okay, wait, okay. Best thing to do is analyze the camera record. Before 11 would be Rina leaving the printing room, so she would have avoided Karen's and Karen by. To avoid Karen by. She would have avoided Karen by going into the printing room, right? With this, anyone can see the Rina must have hit in this location. Well, I sure can't. How about you, prosecution? No, how about you, defense? I can't either. I mean, yes. Can't I show on the map? I highly doubt that. I'll make this penalty quite visible though. Give it another try. Make sure we can see your point this time. Very well then. This maybe that shows exactly where Rina decided to hide from Karen-san. Making me wonder. It can't be that. Can't be that. Ooh. Okay, wow. I thought maybe for an option the person could be leaving the printing room. Hmm. Unless the thing did work. There we go. Okay, it's the printer. Okay. Let's take a look at the printer records again. Here it says that the printers were turned on at 4:10 p.m. Remember that? Now, we know that Eugene was moving through the halls clockwise. We also know that she passed by the cloud room just 1 minute later at 4:11 p.m. Yeah, you don't mean. That's right. The timing of the printer getting activated matches up perfectly with Rina-chan's trip around the halls. Or, Harasho, so you're saying that the witness entered the printing room and turned on the printer? It's the only logical explanation. Nobody else could possibly have turned the printer on. Isn't that right, Rina-chan? Oh my god, the board's malfunctioning. Huh? Rina-chan, the room you hid from Karen's in, could it have been the printing room? Who can say? The printer was turned on at the time you supposedly went in. That can't be a coincidence. How do you explain this? Why was the printer used at the same time you apparently entered the printing room? Witness, this is a very incriminating situation for you. Please think about your answer carefully. Once you're ready, please testify about why you decided to hide from the defendant and why the printer was turned on. Hang on, give me a second. Hey Chan, are you alright? Yes, I feel normal. Just a moment. Okay, I'm ready. Hey Chan, just hang in there for a little longer. I feel so bad. Avoiding Karen. When I heard Karen's son coming around the corner, I ducked into the nearest room, which happened to be the printing room. Based on what I know, I think at the time, my single jammer had finally finished warming up. Since it has wireless functions, it may have automatically connected to the nearest printer without me knowing, thereby turning it on. The nearest printer must have been the big white printer, and it stayed connected even after I left, which is why the printer didn't automatically turn off. That is, until Karen-san plugged in her own flash drive which overrode my connection to it. It's getting a bit convoluted now, don't you think? So your jammer linked up to the printer? It is convoluted, but that's what happens when you fidget around with technology sometimes. Just like with everything else in the school. It all seems a little too convenient, right? So all this confusion can be chalked up to one big accident? Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure 95% of Rina-chan's testimony was fabricated. There's no way that all those coincidences just happened to fall into place. Geez, so you're probably aiming to prove that her story right now is somehow phony? Looks like that's what I'll have to do. But what are the odds that I have evidence to prove that something didn't happen? Oh, great. I gotta press my way through. Alright. But you said it didn't work. It's just connected automatically? Yes, it seems to be some unexpected side effect of the programming. Actually, maybe that's why the jammer didn't work on the door, because it was already connected to the printer. I'll give it another run later, after I program a way to disconnect from the nearest electronic device after startup. Or you could just make it not automatically connect to the nearest thing when it's turned on. Would the nearest thing be the printer? Aren't the other stuff in the drawer? So, the printer thought that your jammer was a flash drive? I guess so. Whatever it is, the jammer pinged something in the printer that made it think it had a job to do. Oh, maybe I should rebrand my electronics jammer as a printer jammer and turn it in as one. Printer jammer needs a bit of work on the name, or people might think it just messes up the paper inside the printer. Hang on a second. Isn't it possible that your jammer could wirelessly print the VIP tickets that way? No, by 4:15 when the tickets were printed, I was in the restroom. My jammer only works in short distances, not over several dozen meters and through three walls. Not to mention, I don't think my jammer is able to command the printer to print, only serve as a beacon to turn it on among other things. Ugh, if only we had more details about this jammer. Did you try and come up with this whole testimony in that short bit of time? It's awfully detailed, but I think you just made it up on the fly. Clever girl. This might be a tough cross-examination to deal with. Don't give up. You'll probably have to find all the information you can get out before you strike. Time to press until the cows come home. Yeah. Gotta press. Why did you feel the need to hide from Karen-san? I don't know. You don't know? But you're the only one who can answer that. Sorry, I don't have an answer. Ria-chan, but... Come on. That's enough. If she doesn't know, then she doesn't know. Sometimes your body just does things without knowing why. She most certainly went into the printing room to print out the VIP tickets, but can I prove that right now? So, you're not sure. I'm pretty sure, but you often end up with unintended behaviors when working with technology. But as far as I know, that's what happens. That's what happened. I have no clue why, but it is what it is. I can tell that this is extremely suspicious or just extremely relatable. Oh, okay, I guess I pressed on everything. That's enough. At this point, we're running in more circles than the witness and the suspect on the day of the crime. Huh? Point is, I think I've heard all I need to hear. It might be time to wrap this all up. No, wait, I'm so close. Your Honor, please wait. The defense just need a little more information. Is that so? About what exactly? The so-called electronic jammer. We haven't seen it, and we don't even know if it exists. The defense requested the witness testify further about the electronic jammer. Prosecution, do you agree to this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not? Correct. The defense already cross-examined an entire testimony from the witness about how the jammer interfered with the printer. Further information would be superfluous. Superfluous to the point of frivolousness. You've already gotten enough from the previous testimony. We're not going to examine every last detail about some device that has already served its purpose in this case. What will you ask for next? The components of the jammer? The size of it? The way you use it? Yes, in fact, I'd like to know all of those things. Your Honor, the defense has officially gone cuckoo. Let's finish this trial before we lose any more of our dignity. Oh, come on, please. I agree. It may be time to bring this trial to an end. But first, defense, I'll grant you one last chance to present any evidence you think would advance the trial. Darn it, that's it? Well, what now, you giant? Do you have any evidence? I don't. At this point, the only evidence that would let the trial go on is the jammer, if it even exists. I mean, think about it. If the jammer actually exists, surely Deerson would have presented it by now. But Deerson's refusing to show it to us. What am I supposed to do? In that case, you just have to make her want to show it to us. It's your only chance, your only choice. Make her? Can I do that? Defense, it's time. Whoa, I'm losing all my life for this one. Defense, it's time. Give any evidence that would allow the trial to continue? Evidence that would allow us to continue the trial. Do I have anything? Well, I have to because I have nothing else. Very well then. Here's my final evidence. Okay, first things first, does Ai's costume have pockets? She doesn't really have pockets, so where we should put the jammer? This will us continue the trial. Nope. Nope, I'll give up. Sorry, I warned you. Wait. Man, it's fine now. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Back to the drawing board. Okay, okay. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. If I say no, it's impossible. Your Honor, unfortunately, the prosecution hasn't given the defense the evidence that will allow the trial to continue. What's that supposed to mean? Well, isn't it clear? The only piece of evidence that will continue the trial is the one that you're refusing to show to the court. Ha, that's because I already know that it will have no bearing on the case. Showing it will be a waste of time. And yet, we don't have confirmation if the so-called electronic chamber even exists. It's strange. If there's nothing suspicious about it, why would you submit it as evidence by now? Your Honor, what do you call it when you unknowingly conceal or fabricate evidence for a case like this? The tampering? Tampering with evidence. But DSM would never tamper with evidence, right? Perhaps, but... But what? Oh my god, but what? Let's take a look at this evidence. What does that have to do with anything? Wrong thing. We're talking about DSM falsifying evidence. What does this evidence have to do with it? Nothing. What I meant to show was this. Okay, what do I show that's totally false? What do you want me to show? Something that's fabricated. Always be fabricated evidence. It's a little diamond, is it? What should be the newspaper? Oh my god, it's the newspaper. Your Honor, do you remember this case from a month ago? Oh yes, I remember. Margie lost the deer back then, didn't she? That's what the official result was. But as somebody told me something interesting about this case that got me thinking. Would Deerson have won without the fabricated evidence? Yes, there were those rumors, but they were just rumors, weren't they? Who knows? But I sure hope Deerson isn't tampering with evidence this time around. Or did those rumors have an inkling of truth? Order! Order! You can stop right there. I know what it looks like, and I'm aware of what happened last month, but a rumor is just a rumor, nothing more. Monkey-san was the first to accuse me of falsifying evidence. Everyone else took it and ran from there. Right, Monkey still thinks that you fabricated the evidence, though. Perhaps she even started those rumors herself. But even if nobody believes me, the truth prevails. I wouldn't be caught dead falsifying evidence. And the situation is no different. The only reason I have not submitted the jammer is because the witness wishes me not to. But that doesn't matter. The jammer does exist. I have inspected it inside and out. Nothing about it raises any red flags. And that's why, this one time, I figured it would not matter if it wasn't shown directly. But I suppose I was wrong to think of that way. Prosecution, will you now permit the witness to testify about the electronic jammer? I will not stand for being accused of tampering of evidence any longer, so yes, I resign my previous decision. However, defense, once it becomes clear that the testimony changes nothing, you will finally understand my choice. I sure hope so. Very well then. Witness, please testify about the electronic jammer. Okay. I feel a bit dirty for putting Kia-san on the spot like that in front of Eri-san, but it had to be done. Thank you for the advice, Nozomi-san. Okay, this is it. Make or break. The jammer. I have the jammer with me today. It's right here. I apologize for not showing it earlier. It's meant to be a secret project. If it's okay, I would feel more comfortable testifying about it instead of submitting it. So the jammer does exist then? And as I have said, I have personally inspected this device. I can confirm that it is handmade using parts from various sources, meaning that it is not a fake. Nugent says that she was keeping the jammer to herself because it's meant to be a secret project, but I don't believe it. She had no problem telling us about it earlier, right? Whatever happened to that? The testimony is starting to fall apart. You better finish it quickly before she gets stressed out anymore. If I can just break this testimony, we might finally get through to her. But just a little more. Right. Here's my theory. I feel like the jammer was just built recently, like not at the time of the crime. Because that trip to Akihabara could be when she bought parts. I thought this would be a project for your thing. You had no problem telling us about this supposedly secret project before. Why were you reluctant to actually show it off? Oh, I know. The design is a black box. You're not supposed to know its inner workings. But you couldn't even let us see it to confirm it existed. The visual design is also a black box. I don't think that's what black box means. But to be fair, it is both black and a box. Can you tell us more about the jammer? Like what? Let's see, what should I ask about? Okay, what would I ask? How do you use it? Can you tell us how to operate the jammer? Alrighty. The jammer reads a signal data from a micro SD card, connects to the nearest device, and you can press the button to try jam it. So you upload the signal data for the fingerprint locker, but it connected to the printer. Yes, the jammer just searches for whatever it can connect to as soon as it boots up. Whether or not it can actually jam the device, that's another story. You have to make sure you have the right data. According to Rina-chan, connecting to the printer makes the printer think that it has a flash drive plugged in until Karen-san overloaded with her own flash drive. It's an awfully short testimony. Rina-chan seems reluctant to give you information if she can avoid it. Looks like I have to press her to get more if I can. That said, there are multiple things I can ask her, but in all likelihood, only one of them will lead to a breakthrough. Take your time if you need to. You may have to test each bit of information to see if you have any evidence to relate to it. Alright, let's ask her more stuff about this jammer. Alright, so if we try to use it. When was it completed? Can you tell us when the jammer was completed? Alrighty. I completed the jammer 2 days before the crime. The day of the crime was May 11th, so you completed the jammer on May 9th? Yeah, I still needed a few days to snatch the signal data from the fingerprint locker so I could upload it to the jammer. Before you ask how I snatched the signal data, I used an RF scanner. Going into any more detail would be too big of a tangent. I agree, this is already a big enough tangent. Don't be going on a tangent of a tangent. Okay, but a lot of things for components. Let's see. What is it made from? Can you tell us what the jammer is made out of? Sorry, but what does this have to do with anything? That's what we're trying to find out, so please, Nia-chan. Alrighty. I assembled the jammer out of a coil from a bug zapper, an old cell phone, and some other electrical bits. Okay. This is what I wanted, I think. It's this. Yep, I knew it. I knew it was both after the Akihabara trip. Ria-chan, I'm sorry, but I've got the shopping list that I-chan sent to Shioriko-chan. Are you aware of it? Shopping list? Is it the one you talked about yesterday? The one that I-san sent to Shioriko-san on the day of the crime? That's right. But there's one item on you that catches my attention. It looks like I-chan had asked Shioriko-chan to pick up an old cell phone, just like the one you said you made your jammer out of. There's no doubt that it was meant for you. Recall that the list was sent to Shioriko-chan on the day of the crime. Do you know what that means? That's right. On the day of the crime, the electronic jammer was not yet completed. Order! Order! Dear son, you told me that there was nothing wrong with the jammer. Why did you never bring up that it didn't exist on the day of the crime? Don't look at me. I was not made aware of that information. I was under the pretense the jammer was completed much earlier than in reality. This discrepancy was never made apparent to me. You are trying to hide this information from Dia-san. The defense. What do you make of the fact that the jammer was not completed at the day of the crime? It means that Ria-chan's motive for taking the long route is bogus. Since her jammer wasn't completed, there was no waiting for it to warm up. She must have taken the long route for a different reason, but that's not the only discrepancy that this raises. In addition, with the jammer incomplete, she must have turned on the printer manually instead. But why? Members of the court, I'm sure we're all thinking the same potential alternate reason. It's clear as day. Well, witness, do you have an explanation for your behavior? Witness, breathe. Take a second to catch your breath. The court will offer you a chance to explain yourself. Don't worry. Ria-chan, please listen to me. This is your chance to set things right. If you just confess to the crime, it will all be over. I know we're having hard times, and that's not your fault. We're here to support you. You are a friend. You can end this right now. I don't know what emotions you're keeping inside yourself, but they won't hurt you anymore. Witness, it's time. Please keep your testimony. Things are getting serious. My final thoughts. I confess to nothing. I can't. I just can't. I don't have the heart. Is that it? Ria-chan, no. Sorry, defense. It looks like the witness is maintaining her innocence. Unfortunately, we're going to have to take this testimony for what it is. Oh no. Poor Ria-chan. I hope her little heart can handle this. This is what I-chan was warning us about. Ria-chan's not taking this well. Are you going to keep on the offensive? I know we're trying to find the truth, but I don't want her to break either. Maybe it's time for her to let out her emotions. If you keep suppressing her feelings, she's probably also suppressing her joy. It's not about controlling her emotions anymore. I think she's letting her emotions control her. Ria-chan, I'm going to help you. I'm going to see this to the end of it if it's the last thing I do. So please, just tell me. What are you hiding from me? Oh my god, wow. I'm really gonna praise her on this one statement. Ooh, music. Ria-chan, listen to me. I know you were the one who printed the tickets, but I also understand why. There's no need to hide it anymore. It's okay for you to let it out. Defense, quit badgering the witness. You've got a lot of nerve pulling that stunt at this point in the trial. This is unforgivable. Wait, dear-san, please, just let me talk to her this one time. Strike this from the record if you need to. It doesn't matter. This is serious. Just let me speak directly to her for a bit, please. Prosecution, do you accept these terms? Proceed. Very well. The following interaction shall be omitted from the court record. Thank you. Ria-chan, I've heard about everything that's been going on behind the scenes. You don't have to be ashamed of it. You just wanted to see your parents again, and I can respect that. You have our support, I promise you. So please, bring this trial to an end. I'm sorry, you-san. I'm physically unable to do that. I-san, Kana-san, they made sacrifices for me. They put their trust in me. They went to all these lengths for me. I can't be the one to end this. If I do, then I fail them. I can't be the one to have wasted all their hopes of helping me. I don't have the heart. Your Honor, I'd like to add to my testimony. Rina-chan? I'm sorry, witness, the previous interaction was stricken from the court record, allowing it to result in a mistrial, unless the witness' sudden revision was a spontaneous decision. Dear son, I said that the witness randomly and voluntarily changed her mind. There is no issue. Dear son, thank you. Very well, let the record show that the witness had an impromptu change of decision. It's just like Ai-chan said, Rie-chan's afraid of letting down others. Rie-chan, no matter how you act, I can tell you're screaming for help on the inside. Please, just hang tough for a little longer. It's up to you now, Yu-san. Whoa, she think? Wait, she's just giving me information? Okay. I have no explanation on why I turned on the printer, I just felt like it. I left the printing room at 4:11 p.m. The tickets were printed at 4:15. There's no way to account for this gap. I don't know why the printer stayed on for 5 times longer than usual. Must be a glitch. That's all I'm able to say. I'm sorry, I'm not strong enough to face this. Okay, so it's all up to me. So, you're confirming that the 410 on the printer records is you? Yes, I am. But did you print anything? Or just leave it sitting there with the power on? Who knows? Perhaps I don't remember. I don't believe that for a second. I better proceed under the assumption that you did print something. The question is, what? The VIP tickets weren't printed until 4:15. Would there be some way to delay the print? Say you order the printing job at 4:10, but it doesn't happen until 4:15. No, there's no reason why a printer would need a feature like that. When you order the printing job, the printer gets right to work. That's how it is. And that's how it's always been. Rats, so there's no accounting for the 5-minute gap. I wonder. What's wrong, Ayubu? Well, even the printer has no built-in way to delay the printing job, printing of the tickets. Wonder if there's something you can do that will stimulate a similar effect. Simulate a similar effect. Is it because the scanner jam? It can't be the jammer. Could it be that the ticker simply took 5 minutes to print? That's impossible. The printer can run a paper through itself in 5 seconds and print a full page of text in 15. Even if it did take 5 minutes to print, I believe the ticker's timestamp is based on when it begins printing, not finishes printing. The tickets began at 4:15 p.m., meaning it could only have been Cannon, right? Unless somehow Ryo-chan left the room before 4:11 p.m. and then it began printing at 4:15 p.m. It's okay, Ryo-chan. Take a bit of time to calm down. Ryo-san, I've heard people haven't died. No, you haven't. Everyone who helped you, they did so because they wanted to, not because you made them do it. Don't you see it? I care for you. You're not a burden, I promise. I've got to finish this for everyone involved. Ryo-chan, do you really think that it'll be good for her if you reveal all the secrets? I hope so. I just hope she remembers that even if she did some questionable things to Karen-san, it's not her fault that she was in the situation that led to her doing this. Ryo-chan's barely giving me information to work with. I might have to see if I can get information out of her and piece the bits and bobs together myself. Right now, the most pressing question is how she managed to pull all this off. Once I answer that, okay, how did she do this? It can't be the jammer. The jammer wasn't done. The jammer's not even in there. The jammer's not even in there, please. Question is, how did she... How did she... These papers are going to come into some real use, I swear. Unless, wait, you know how you can print it? You print multiple blank pages to get the time. Yes, you print multiple blank pages, and then when she gets to the thing she actually wants to print, she prints that, and that's how she got the gap. When we did our investigation yesterday, we found something very peculiar. At the time, we couldn't explain it. You see, when we looked in the paper tray of the big white printer, there was this bundle of papers. Whoop-de-doo, defense. You found paper in a paper tray. Do you want a medal? I don't need your medal. What I need you to do is feel the edges of the paper. Hmm. Oh, there appears to be a tiny little crease around the edge of the paper. Yep, a tiny little crease. But why is it there? Perhaps the factory that made them was messed up and put out some faulty sheets of paper? I don't think so. I think these papers were all run through the big white printer. Huh? Somebody decided to print 60 blank sheets of paper? That's right. And here's how I know they were run through the big white printer specifically. Because it was broken. This is Karen-san's homework. It was what Karen-san was trying to print on the day of the crime, not the VIP tickets. Wouldn't you know, she had printed it on the big white printer. The printer was suffering malfunctions that made this crease appear on anything that was run through it. If you touch it, you'll notice that the edges are creased, just like the big stack of blank papers. In fact, they match perfectly. So that's the story. Someone decided to print 5,000 sheets of nothing, but I still don't get why anyone would do that. What's the point? Isn't it just for a waste of time? Exactly. Exactly. The whole point of printing these 60 blank sheets was to waste time. Piggy, you mean... That's right. 60 sheets of blank paper would take a while to get through, even if they're blank, you see. You established that the printer likes to turn off after 1 minute, unless it thinks it has a job to do. There's no way that a printer will feel like turning off while it's in the middle of printing, so it would just happily keep churning out those blank sheets until its jobs ran out. Now, imagine somebody ordered 60 blank sheets of paper and a set of VIP tickets somewhere near the end. Order! That's impossible. Are you seriously implying that the witness ordered the printer to print all that garbage and just walked away? That's exactly what I'm implying. On May 11th, at 4:10 p.m., in the printing room, Renjan used the big white printer, ordered 60 sheets of blank papers and the VIP tickets, and then just walked away. Wow. So the reality of the matter is, allow me to pull it all into summary. The witness's top priority was not to be found out. Her plan was to delay the printing of the tickets, then to leave the printing room. Then she would go to the restroom and get a photo taken there. The illusion would be that the tickets would have been printed while she was somewhere else. Thus, it would look like she wasn't responsible for printing the tickets because she was in another room. But what about the photo? Surely the photo being taken at the same time the tickets were printed, that's too big of a coincidence, right? Hardly. I know you don't know this, Your Honor, but Rinja and Aichan are close friends. No doubt this was part of their plan from the beginning. Aichan was an accomplice of Aichan was an accomplice to the crime. I'm absolutely certain that Aichan and Rinja were fishing for a photo that would coincide with the time the VIP tickets were printed. Wow! And let's not forget, Aichan had called Rinja to the restroom with her for apparently no reason. But if you consider that Aichan was trying to help Rina-chan come off as less suspicious by suggesting that she wasn't in the printing room when the VIP tickets were printed, it would have been the perfect opportunity to create a witness in Rina-chan. And how do you account for the fact that the defendant must have entered the printing room right after the tickets were printed? The tickets would have been sitting on top of the pile of papers, surely she would have noticed them. But that could never have happened, as the defendant reported not seeing any VIP tickets at the scene of the crime. Unless the tickets weren't the last thing printed. If, for example, the tickets were the second or last things, if the tickets were the second or third last things printed, the VIP tickets would have never been under one of the blank papers, and all the defendant would have to be seen was just a stack of apparently normal sheets. Rina-chan, I've just got one question for you. How accurate is my account of things? Is it possible that this is exactly what you have done? Your Honor, wouldn't you agree that everything I've said so far makes a whole lot of sense? In fact, I say this degree of evidence vindicates my client. Karen-san was never the one who printed the VIP tickets. I will say, you made an awfully convincing case for yourself. Prosecution, is there anything else you'd like to add? Sigh. No, Your Honor, I've got nothing. And so, it's finally over. Is it finally over? Did I do it? Is this a humor? Before you go. Huh? What the heck? I have just two words that I want you to consider. And what's that? Rena, the clicking, something. The app was, sorry, the game was from the start. Rena Clicker. Rena Clicker? What does that have to do with? Uh... I'm sorry, what's this about? What is Rena Clicker? It's a mobile phone game I made. I call it Rena Clicker. Before I left the practice room, I left my phone in there so the others could play with. Oh my gosh, she left the phone there, so how could she access the printer? And as we established yesterday, you're required to use your Nijikasaki virtual ID to start printing things. Since she didn't have a phone, the witness was the sole reason who absolutely could not have printed anything, especially not the VIP tickets. Why? Okay, there's more to this. One thing I understand, so no matter what evidence there is to suggest otherwise, the fact is that the witness couldn't have printed anything under any circumstances. That is correct, Your Honor, meaning the defense's case is now completely done for. Well, now what, you Chan? We were so close, and all our progress gets wiped out just like that? I don't believe this. Hye-chan planned this from the very start. This was her final lifeline that she was hiding until now. I don't know what to do. Nobody can print anything without the IDs. It's hopeless. Nonsense. You're Takasaki, you can figure this out. There just has to be an explanation for all of this. Defense, let's hear it. If you still believe that the witness was responsible for the crime, how do you explain how she was able to print the tickets without a phone? I don't know, but I need to think of something. I've come too far to just give up now. Your Honor, the defense theory is that Hye-chan. Okay, if you're going to use iPhone, because weren't I and Setsuna, I and Setsuna in the bathroom, so they were taking pictures. But I used the phone to call someone, so couldn't have been, can't be Karen, because couldn't make sense for Karen, because Karen left the phone. It could be her. Can't be the old phone. If Hye-chan didn't have a phone, how could she have printed the tickets? It's very simple. She just printed the tickets without using a phone. Okay, that's explanation. And if you gone bonkers, that's like saying if you want to skateboard, you don't have a skateboard. But you don't have a skateboard, just skateboard without a skateboard. Explain this. How could the witness have used her Nijikasaki virtual ID without a cell phone on hand? The mask isn't the mask. It's all been boiling to this. If I can just get this right, it will answer everything. To all of you in court, here's how Rina-chan was able to use her Nijikasaki virtual ID without a phone. Is it the mask? It's the mask, isn't it? This is Rina-chan's idol outfit. She was wearing this on the day of the crime. If you'll notice, the upper clue is her electronic board. Defense, you're not implying. That's exactly what I'm implying. Rina-chan has the Nijikasaki virtual ID app installed on her Rina-chan board. Oh! The witness has the app for a phone installed in her electronic board? That's crazy. Exactly. Do you even know if a board has wireless capabilities, or are you just making this up as you go? The witness board is for aesthetic purposes. How are we supposed to know that it can even connect to the printer? I refuse to believe that the witness board has such a capability. It's ludicrous to even think about. But maybe I can prove otherwise. Very well. If you think the Rina-chan board doesn't have wireless functions, let me show you why you're wrong. Wait, okay, why you're wrong? I actually don't know. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? Wait, how am I supposed to know? I have no idea. Why does this not have? Why does it have wireless stuff? So I don't know. I don't know. I'm actually lost on this one. I'm gonna love on that. Well, if you think regional port has no wireless function, let me show you why you're wrong. It's actually something technological. Not the camera, of course. Can't be this. It's not the printer. Only the camera access, the club room access. What makes it wireless? Why would they have wireless? Just staring at this post. I don't know. I don't know. Is it this? No. Oh wait, actually, the evidence is in the photo that Aichan took on the day of the crime. In that case, please point out what the supposed evidence is exactly. To look at what you mean. What makes it wireless? The headphones. It's the headphones. I bring this part of the photo to the court. An antenna? But isn't that just for decoration? I doubt it. If the defense's account of things is correct, then Aichan's photo would have been taken immediately after Rinachan used the printer, and therefore needed the antenna out. But the thing is, I've actually never seen the antenna on her before. As such, if you look at the witness now, the antenna is not visible on the board. The only reason the antenna would be present on the photo is if it were functional. And since it's here, the defense suggests that we take a closer look at the board and see if it really does have a fully functional retractable antenna. Not only that, but we have a chance to verify if the board really has the Nijikusaki Visual ID app downloaded into it. Once all that is done, we'll know for certain who was responsible for printing the VIP tickets. I don't think we can just look at a board like that. I think she can say no to that. Witness, it's time. Please forfeit your board for inspection. Did it break? It's been a long fight, hasn't it? Did you not try? Everything that you said, it was true. All of it. The route I took, the plan to have my photo taken at the right time, the ID app on my board, all of that was me, to get the VIP tickets. This week, my parents happened to be in town. Their busy work schedule prevents them from being home most of the time. I figured, if I got them some VIP tickets to our next live, they spare some time to come watch. I could finally come see them. I could finally see them in person for once. But it wasn't meant to be. Oh, you poor thing. I expected this outcome. I knew there would be a chance that it wouldn't work out. I would have just returned the tickets in that case, but I was afraid. If people knew that I would ask for VIP tickets, then I had to cancel them. If people knew that I asked for VIP tickets, then I had to cancel them, I was afraid that they were going to ask questions about it. So exactly as Aichan had described, down to the finest details. I didn't want anyone to ask about it, or worry about me. Quite frankly, all of this was nobody's business but mine. So I hatched a plan. I would figure out a way to print the tickets without anybody knowing. I wanted to leave no way to trace the fact that all of it was my doing. Then, if it becomes known that the tickets were printed, I wouldn't have to say anything about it. They could just be cancelled without my involvement. So I had the tickets printed in a discreet way. I went back to the printing room way later and hid them somewhere only I was aware of under the printer. That way nobody could link them to me in case that I was caught. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that they could have exceeded the seat count. The email was sent out and, well, that dragged Karen's into all of this. But Einstein told me it was okay. So I just kept going and going and... Oh, you poor thing. I feel so bad now. I'm sorry. I caused you all way more trouble than it was worth. I can't justify my decisions. I should have just faced them from the very beginning. Oh, poor Rina-chan. Rina-chan, it's okay. If anything, I hope you can forgive me for pressing you so hard. It couldn't have been easy. I don't blame you. I had no right to hide all of this after it started getting Karen-san involved. You were just doing what you needed to do. And don't worry about me. You finally said things right. I feel liberated. Rina-chan bored? Thank you. So that's why you did what you did. The true culprit of the case of the VIP tickets. Oh, come on. You can't just blame Rinari for all of this. After all, this was never just a one-woman crime. Hey, son, you're here? Come on, Rinari. Of course. If you're going down, you're not doing it alone. I'm going down with you. Miyashita Ai, correct? You were the accomplice, weren't you? That's right. Rinari may have been the one who came up with the initial plan and pulled off the crime herself, but almost everything else was my doing. I was worried about how the plan could go wrong, and Einstein was always there to give me an answer to the issue. For example, one of the early issues was, what if someone knew that I was in the printing room while the tickets were printed? And I told her, delay the tickets being printed. I'll make it look like you were somewhere else when they came out. And then, Rini was afraid of people thinking the photo might be faked. Yeah, but then Einstein immediately thought of creating a witness that could vouch for it. Every time I had a concern, Einstein had an answer. So that sums up your involvement in this case. Yes, my involvement was that I was blindly feeding her insecurities. Instead of helping her overcome her issues, I was just giving her ways to delay facing them, and that's all I did this whole time. And I thought that was good for her. And I thought that was good for her. I even asked Karen to take the fall for Inari. I chose to sacrifice her for another. I'm sorry, Inari. I was the real criminal. Son. Both of you went to reasonable lengths for each other. Though unjustified, they were understandable. Please don't let it weigh too heavily on your consciousness. Heh, it's alright. We've got a lot of issues to work through, Rinari and I both. If the going is tough, consider seeing a professional. Even if you want to be there for each other, you're just normal everyday people. There's only so much you can do. I don't think it's that serious yet, but it's good enough. We'll keep that in mind. But thanks, dear son. You're not so bad. And you, thank you for setting everything straight. Thank you. I feel bad, but I'm glad we could solve it at least. Defendant, please take the stand. That's me. So it's really all over? Indeed it is. As far as this trial was. All great things must come to an end. That sounds good. What a lovely performance from both sides. I hope you all continue with what you're doing. It's still magnificent to go unseen by the world of by the people of the world. That sentiment is shared. Please keep up the good work. The court officially finds the defendant Asaka Karen not guilty. We did it. We did it. That's all. That's for Daniel. I did it. I feel bad. I feel so bad for you, May 14th, 6:09 p.m. Phew. It was tough, but it's finally over. Well done, Yu-chan. How does it feel to have another win under your belt? I feel good, but honestly, the best part is the fact that Rina-chan and I-chan seem to be happy with how everything turned out. That's right, and it was all thanks to you, Yu-chan. Well, I wouldn't say it was all me. For instance, I couldn't have done it without... Hey, nice going. You managed to restore justice to our school. Speak of the devil. The devil? Where? I won't stand for evildoers in my part of town. Be gone, demon. Tsuna-chan, thank you for your help. Without you, this case may have gone unsolved. Really? I was that helpful? Yes, I could count on you to speak the truth. and that really turned the case around for us. You are a true warrior of justice. Yeah, you're right. Alone, we are powerful, but together, we are the unstoppable force of truth. And I'm glad it could turn out this way. Speaking of people, I couldn't have won the trial without. Dear son, thank you for your help. Huh? Help? Why on earth would I ever help you? Near the end of the trial, I noticed that you let Lina-chan testify in a way that wouldn't cause a mistrial. You have my gratitude. Poppy, Poppycock, I wasn't saying that to help you make your little friend feel better or anything. I just wanted the trial to end faster. I don't really believe what you're. Hey, quiet, you loon. Take a look at this. Isn't it's a gavel? Not just any gavel. It's Elisan's gavel. She even signed it. Wow, lucky you. Take good care of that now. Oh, speaking of autographs, can what exactly? Can I have your autograph too? Huh? You want my autograph? Yeah, one autograph just to send it, obviously. Don't be so full of yourself. I shouldn't ask you for an autograph in a million. I wouldn't ask for an autograph in a million years. It's for my sister. She's a big fan. I see. Yes, no problem. Here, give it to Ruby-san. Thank you. Anyway, next time we meet, I'll crush you in the courtroom, Takasaki-you-san. I'm looking forward to it. Hello, my little hero. I see you chatting it up with the others. Karen-san, I'm so glad you're off the hook. That too, but I mostly just believe I and Rina can find closure in all of this. Speaking of which, I haven't seen them out here yet. Wonder what they've been up to. I don't know, perhaps they're still talking it out. Wait, someone's leaving the gym. Look behind you. Oh, okay. Shuriko-chan, you were watching our trial? Well, yes, I found it prudent to observe how our school is being represented. I have to say, you all did quite well. I'm happy with the result. That said, I hope future trials don't get so serious near the end. This is meant to be light-hearted after all. We'll see. Hello. Rina-chan, how are you feeling? I feel fine. Thank you for asking. Are you lying? Don't lie. Please don't lie. I thought we didn't cause too much trouble. I would hate for you all to have been weighed down by all this. Don't worry about it, Rina-chan. I promise that we're just relieved everything seems to be back to normal. Hey, you and I both. You're a true lawyer. You had the conviction to win the case. I'm gonna answer the. Thanks, Aya-chan. Oh, come on, you've got to have more to say than that. You found out that I'm a felon. You're free to give me a longer sentence. Please stop with the jokes. I'm glad that you're happy too, Ai-chan. Still, I wish there was more I could do for Inari. If only your family could have watched our show. Actually, I may know a compromise. Hey, Rina-chan, what is it, you-san? I'm sorry your parents couldn't make it to our show, but if it makes you feel any better, I know someone who could come to our next live. Wait, oh, come on. Okay, it's a person. Okay, firstly, it's a person. It's a person. Who do I think it should be? It's not these people. Who would it be? I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. I want to figure. Okay. Ooh. Someone who could come to our next. The cat? Is it the cat? It's the cat, isn't it? It's the cat. Thank the Lord. I thought it was a person. I thought it was a person, and I'm like, wait. All these people have nothing to do with Reno. Maybe it's the cat. Did you know on the day of the crime, Hampin came looking for you? No, it must have been when I was out of the practice room. I know Hampin is no substitute for your parents, but you got someone else here who loves you unconditionally and will follow you to the ends of the earth. They came looking for you during our investigations too. Isn't that remarkable? If you want, we can give Hampin VIP access to our next live. I'm sure among all those adoring fans who came to see you, Hampin would like to see you most of all. You're going to give a cat a VIP seat? On second thought, I guess that does sound kind of. She's laughing. Oh. That sounds funny. Yes, do it. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. You wouldn't even need to print VIP tickets for that. Just put out a special cockpit for Hanpin. And also, we need to keep the door open so Hanpin can run away when Setsu goes on stage, but that's fine too. Hey, why would anyone walk out on my performance? I've got a new dance prepared for next time. It will be inspired by this case, the dance of fiery burning justice that overcomes all opposition. It'll be a real showstopper. Don't you dare miss it. You've made a lot of people happy today, Yu-chan. Give yourself a pat on the back. Thanks, Ayumu, but it's all for my friends. If I can make them happy, then that's all I ever wanted. Anyway, let's take a group picture. Ain-chan, would you do the honors? Oh yeah, gladly. That includes you, Shioti. No running. But I was only involved in this case, wasn't I? That doesn't matter. Get over here. We couldn't have gotten to this point without you. Alright, places everyone. 1, 2, 3. Yay! What the? What the? Why is Asuna with hitting the side profile like that? Why is she hitting the side profile? This is funny. What was it done? Well, I guess it's done. Yeah, I guess that's the end of the second episode. That was cool. I don't know, it felt a little bit too personal at the end, but that's just stuff you have to acknowledge in life. But I did enjoy. I'm glad I was able to solve it. I feel bad though that I had to really like pressure into telling the truth. But at the end of the day, in order to come out with justice, I guess, in the wise words of Setsuna, justice will always prevail. Against all oppositions. But I hope you guys enjoyed. The next time we'll be starting with episode 3. I'm looking forward to that. So I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.